Hello, family. Good evening. Welcome to another day of our Smart Financial Move series. My name is Jide, your favorite financial educator here on TikTok, where I speak to immigrants in UK and diaspora on how to have a more effective. A real hobbit house into a New Zealand hillside, and when this thing is finished, it'll completely disappear into the landscape. Sorry. Finding some nice. Okay, great. How to have an effective life here in the diaspora. Good evening, everyone. How are you doing? How has been your day? Awesome. I don't know if it's only from my end. It's been a little mixture of rain and a little bit of sunshine. I think it's the normal UK weather. Good evening, bro. How are you? Thank you so much for always showing up. All right, guys. Welcome. So if you're joining me for the first time, you're welcome. My name is Jide, your favorite financial educator, where I speak to immigrants in the diaspora. I'm in the UK, talking to us about how to make sure that we make the most of the time while we are here. Why? Because there is no system that will take care of you except for what you do for yourself. So once every quarter, I do what I call the Smart Financial Move series, whereby I stream back to back for a straight 15. I stream every day for a straight 15 days, talking about different topics that are of great impact to us from a financial point of view. If you are joining me for the first time, today is our day 5. We have already done 4 days. Awesome. Welcome, everybody. If you have been around since day 1, you are awesome. I believe it's been impactful. Some shift is happening already mentally and financially. If you are joining for the first time, please click the like button. I'll just tap on my forehead. Just clicking the like button. Why? Because it helps TikTok to promote it to more people. And number 2, it helps TikTok to know that there's an engagement on this page. All right, so let's do that. And the second thing I would recommend you do is share it to people who are meaningful to you. Husband, share to your wife. Wife, share to your husband. Friends, share to your colleagues. Why? Because you are a product of what you hear. What you don't hear cannot just jump on you. Even God said, Jesus, when he was living, said he will set the Holy Spirit to bring to remembrance the things I have spoken to you. So ignorance is never a strategy. That is why what you know and what you hear are part of what molds who you become. So everybody do not just arrive. That's why when I hear people say they are self-made, I shake my head. Why? Because there's nobody self-made. You definitely would have heard something that has formed your mindset. There's a knowledge you got from somewhere that has helped you shape your mindset. And that's why we're having this conversation, so that we, especially Black immigrants, are not the one who keep complaining every time about everything happening in the country. When we're in Nigeria, we were blaming the system and the government. Now we're in the UK, we're almost practically blaming the system and the government. I hope you know that there was no system or government that was designed with the intention of making you successful or wealthy. The moment you know this, this will be a big liberation. Places don't make people. I said this yesterday. It is people that make things out of places. So in other words, you can be in quotes in one of the places that looks like there is opportunity. It doesn't open up to you because you are in that place. It opens up to you because you understand how to strategically position yourself, within that space. And it's very, very critical we start thinking that way. Why? Because if we don't do that, we'll keep expecting the government, expecting things and people around us, to just make life beautiful for you. And I say, nobody's here to save you. No system has the responsibility to save you. It's your responsibility. So once you start understanding this, one of the greatest gifts you can do to yourself is holding yourself responsible for your outcome. Not blaming your husband, not blaming your wife, not blaming the system, not blaming your employee. Why? Because what you have done is you are walking into maturity when you start thinking this way, and you are doing what would start giving you the kind of result you want to have for yourself. So it's important for us to have that. And that's why the first day I spoke about understanding the system. No system will give you the vibes, the life you want for you. Is that they shift immigration rule tax goes up, your earning potential is capped. So you end up finding out at the long run, it's not like when you come abroad, life will just be sweet. Maybe what you get for those of us in abroad, I'm in the UK as well, is the fact that you are in a much more stable system, number one. Number two, when it comes to security, you are not walking out in the middle of the night and you are afraid that somebody, hey, no, kill any lapo here, your daddy. That's beautiful. You have access to job in that sense. Maybe it might not be the job you want for yourself. You have access to overdraft and credit when your salary cannot take care of you. So these are seemingly part of the advantage you have in the Western world, which you don't have in Nigeria. In Nigeria, I have to know somebody before I can get job. Yeah, it is based on what I can produce. So in other words, I can be in one space, meet a white person who does not know my father from Adam, but because of the fact that I have value that I'm bringing to the space, all right, so they can now see me as somebody that they want to work with. Good evening, sis, how are you? So for us to now come into this system and fold our hand and expect things to just play out, Zig Ziglar has defined it that it's like insanity. You are not doing anything exceptional and you want the system to produce a different result for you. So in other words, you can be in the midst of plenty. Hello, efficiency. You might be in the midst of plenty and it seemingly look like it's not showing in your life. Why? Because of the strategy, the way you are doing it. And that's why I always say it's not about working hard. In the abroad though, where I know and where I'm staying, it's not about working hard, it's about working smart. Why? Because if you work hard does not necessarily mean you will get the kind of life you want. So, and it's very important for you to start sitting down. That's why we have this conversation called Smart Financial Move Series. I've been doing this for 4 days now. Today is day 5. From now till the end of the month, I'll be showing up every day, 6 p.m., talking about different topics. The first day we spoke about understanding the system. Second day we spoke about dealing with debt. Third day we spoke about understanding how to grow your credit reporting and what is the real thing that people look for. Many people just jump after credit card. How are you, Dami? And they think it's credit card that will build their credit score. I laugh you again. So we've covered that. Yesterday we looked at a very, very critical one, that it says some people are using my names to send you message. Please, they are scammers. There are scammers online. I have about 4 or 5 fake Jide that is online bombarding people. Please don't fall for them. I will never come to your DM. I would never come to your DM to talk about investment, talk about anything. Please, if anybody is doing that, please block them. It's not from me. And that's why I always recommend follow me so that you're not following the wrong one. Please, there are about 5 fake Jide online. At least you can see is the only real one, is the only one that will be streaming. Every other one of them will never stream. The only original one is the only one that is streaming. So guys, be very careful. Don't fall for any scam. Please, I beg you. All right, so back to our conversation. So you have to start understanding that it's not so much of how hard you work in diaspora. It is how smart you position yourself. People will say, okay, I'll do 2 shifts, I'll get 2 jobs, and do many other things. I said, whatever you are doing, and you are not the one determining how far and how well you become. You are not the one in charge. I use this illustration a lot about control. If I am in a car, I am the one pressing throttle and I'm pressing it very, very, very hard. But the person who is holding the steering is directing it in the way I don't want to go. Guys, I'm not the one in charge, no matter how much I'm pressing the throttle. That's number one. Number two, I use this illustration about speed. Many of us think it's how fast we do it. No, you can be doing it fast. For instance, I'm in the Wirral, close to Liverpool, and I enter a train because I want to go to Scotland. The train is running at 200 miles per hour, which is very fast. But unfortunately, this train is not going towards Scotland. Scotland is up of where I am. Instead of the train going up, it is going down towards London. So you can see that literally anybody that sees me is that I'm running very fast, I'm moving very fast because I'm in a train. However, the direction I'm going will never take me to where I want to go to. So no matter how fast you're going, make sure you are fast in the right direction. So you start finding out that beyond just speed, beyond just working hard, working smart, start talking about direction. Start talking about advantage. Who is in control? Who is determining how much you can earn? Who is determining what you can become? I said, how many of you can afford not to work for 2 months and your family will be okay? It sounds funny, but to be honest, it's not funny. And that's why we need to have these conversations again and again. Why? Because you must remember why you came to the UK. You must remember why you came. Anything that is not close to the kind of life you came here for, don't settle for less. Don't settle for less. Anything that is not close to the kind of life you came here for, don't settle for less. That's why this pseudo comfort that we usually experience, because in quotes, we have access to many things. Please be careful. Why? Because there's a season in your life whereby that cannot take care of you again. Please follow me. Be calm. Listen. Trust me, this will be one of the best stream you have tonight. Why? Because I'm covering something else that is very critical. Please be following me. All right. So it's very important for you to structure yourself in this country. All right. So why am I saying this? If you look at the workspace and you look at the economy, governmental system, the only way that was designed, the easiest way, and the way where you would hear more that was designed for you to earn money is by going to work and work for salary. But what they did not tell you about working for salary is the fact that you cannot earn anything without working. That's why they call it salary, right? That's number one. Number two, what you can earn is limited based on how much I perceive you and your increment in salary, how much I can increase you. That's number two. Number three, for you, it is even a major dangerous one. Why? Because it simply means that you cannot afford to fall sick. It means that you cannot afford to lose your job. Why? Because it's only one stream. So you find out that you are more constrained as a person if this is all you are doing. And that's why I'm saying anybody that is listening to me and you understand control. Why? Because anybody who is controlling how much you earn when you can work, even when you don't like the shift, you still go out and work. For instance, it's raining now. Many of you don't like your work, but you still have no choice. You have to go under the rain to work. Anybody who is controlling that is not just controlling your time, is controlling your life. And if you look at the system, nobody sits you down to educate you on how you can earn more. Economic system, the governmental system was never designed to teach you how to earn more. Why? Because the moment when you have knowledge, you have the power to choose. Guys, ignorance is a product. Deliberately keeping things out of the reach of people, it's a product. Why? Because you must understand that that is how the system enriches and empowers himself. And this is why I'm all about financial education. You have to understand that, okay, I'm working 9 to 5 every day towards retirement at age 68. What will my life be like at retirement? All I am getting at retirement is just my pension and my state pension. Have you sat down to ask yourself, what would your state pension be at the retirement? Guys, if you've not done this, go and download HMRC app, register. Everybody is meant to have a registration point on HMRC app. Go and download HMRC app, register for 2 reasons. Number one, you will know how much your tax is. And if your company is not paying the right tax or they are not declaring tax, you can easily know. That's number one. Number two, one of the things you will see there is called state pension. State pension for me, when I was still working in my 9 to 5 before resigning, HMRC told me that if I continue working like this, I was working as a digital marketing manager. I work remotely for one of the biggest logistics firm and I was earning well. HMRC told me that if I continue like this at retirement, what I'll be getting as state pension is £778. Imagine somebody who has been earning 3K plus all through his active season. Now that you are retired and you don't have energy to work, when you expect that what you have done, your labor should take care of you. HMRC is saying, in addition to whatever you are getting from your pension, what will be giving you based on your NI contribution is just £780 per month, not per week, not per hour. So you have to sit down and ask yourself, is this the kind of life I want to build for myself? You see why some people after retirement, they still come and do 10-hour shift, 5-hour shift, depending on how much. Why? Because the money is not enough to take care of themselves. And that's why we need to have this conversation so that we can be sure we are moving in the right direction. Guys, I'll be turning my board. Why? Because I want us to talk about something today. We can all start at a level, but there's no way it is written that we have to stay on that level. I call progress series of steps in the right direction. Progress is not a destination. It's a series of steps in the right direction. So I can start as a warehouse staff. I can start as a carer. But the question is, what am I doing to make sure I move close to the kind of life I want? If you notice what I've been sharing the past 3 days, you can see that the moment you can create more capacity to earn, number one, and you can reduce your expenses. It seemingly looks like life in the UK is much more better than life anywhere else. Why? Because you are understanding the game. The way the game is designed right now, before the end of the month, if you have more than £200 in your pocket, you are in a favored situation. Why? Because the system has been designed in a way whereby nothing less than 70 to 80% of your monthly earnings is going out even before the middle of next month. So the way it's designed is nobody can sit down and say, I'm comfortable and I'm okay. So before your company release that there is extra shift, you are the one running after extra shift, left, right, and center. Why? Because you see that the equation is not balancing again. All things are not becoming equal again. Why? Because if they don't do like that, how will we keep running the system the way it wants it to run? I'll turn my board now and I'll share something with you. Guys, please open your minds tonight and let your innermost being listen and talk to you. This is a conversation which many people don't pay attention to. They only do it when it's too late. But this is a good time to hear it, no matter your age. But this is always a good time to hear it. If you are not following me, guys, you will not be hearing things that will help you make more money. So in other words, you might be losing more money. How do you follow? It doesn't cost you anything. Just click the follow button. That's the plus sign up there. And you follow so that TikTok can notify you whenever I'm streaming. And you can also hear this. Guys, I want us to share today's conversation. You're welcome, Sochi. I want us to share today's conversation to everybody that you know and you love. Why? Because it's important. We cannot make the same mistake that people who had come ahead of us or our parents made. That is why we're having this conversation. I'll be turning to my board right now so that we can see what tonight's conversation is. All right, so I've been speaking for a while, and tonight we'll be looking at something that is very critical. Every one of us in life, there is a trajectory which we usually go through. And I'll be throwing it on the board now. Everybody will locate where they are. But above all, it is important for you to know how to move from where you are. Beautiful. You'll be sharing to your siblings in the UK. Awesome. Well done. I'll be drawing this, and I believe you can see it. All right. This is practically the equation of every human being on earth. Every human being. Abel, how are you doing? Abel Pauline. All right, so I'll call this place age. Right? And I'll call this place productivity or performance. P. Productivity or performance. Now, everybody from age 0 to age 18, it is a season of our life whereby we are usually dependent. In other words, nobody is expecting us to really perform anything much. We depend on either our parents or we depend on a system to take care of us. So in other words, at this age, nobody is expecting you to be paying bills. Nobody is expecting you to do anything extraordinary. Just keep living and you'll be fine. However, there's another age between 18. I like calling it 60, depending on how ambitious you are in life. Between age 18 and age 60 is a major critical season of your life. I call this season the most active season of your life. This is a beautiful season of your life. Why? Because this is the season whereby you can make or mar yourself. I call this season the season where you are to be creating or you build. So you move beyond dreaming. You move to creation. Why? Because this is the most energetic season of your life. This is the season where many of us came to the UK. This is the season whereby you can do extra shifts. This is the season whereby you can do extra job. But unfortunately, many of us, the way you use this season is not the best way to our advantage. Another critical thing about this season is whatever you do between this season and this season has a major impact on what the rest of your life will be. Let's assume the average years of year that people live in the UK is 88. So whatever you do between this 18 and 60 is going to determine another season of your life, which is another dependent season. Dependent in the sense of you don't have energy to work like before again. The work system at 68 will tell you that you have to retire. That no matter how skillful you are, we don't find you very valuable again. Why? Because age is not on your side. So you find out that between this age 0 and 18, your level of strength, performance, and productivity is growing. Unfortunately, between this place that I call the most active season of your life, the way you use this place will go in a big way of determining if this graph will keep going up or it will start reducing gradually. But trust me, there will definitely be a period in your life whereby the graph cannot always go up in terms of your productivity and performance. It will drop until when your maker calls you. So can you see that this place, you need to start creating? Why? Because whatever you create will become the legacy at this space to take care of you and your generation to come. But unfortunately, the way many of us use this season, we use it only as employee. Is it wrong to be an employee? No. But unfortunately, you are using it to build something that cannot necessarily take care of your future and give you the kind of life you are looking for. This is the place where many of us, in quotes, we are looking for comfort. When there's a raining day, there is a winter season. You know, winter is when you cannot walk like before. You don't have the energy to walk like before. I like what the Bible says. I'm a Christian, so I make reference to the Bible sometimes. It says you should go and meet the ants, oh you sluggard, and learn from the ant. He said the ant during summer, the ant is gathering. So that when winter comes, that many people cannot walk, the ant already has what it can use to survive that winter season. So it's telling you that this period of your life, I will call it your summer season, whereby you can do more, whereby you can push more, whereby you can build more, whereby you can become more. Because whatever you do here will determine your winter. Winter season is coming for everybody on earth. No matter the age you are, either you are 18, there will be one day you become 88 years if God gives you long life. You see why it's important for us to pay attention to this critical stage of your life. Now look at it. Between 0 and 8 is just 18 years old of your life. Between 18 and 40 is 42 years of your life. Between 60 and 88 is another 28 years of your life. Can you see that this part of your life is the biggest gift that God can ever give you, and existence can ever give you? But unfortunately, this is the season whereby many people do not really build what will take care of them here. So imagine if I use all this season to work as employee just to live off pension. You see why some people don't have choice but to be moved to care home and to move to certain life whereby they cannot enjoy it. Guys, no matter the age where you came into the UK, most of us will come during this period of our life. And whatever you make out of it is going to go a long way in determining what the rest of your life would be like. So like I say, many of us use this season to be an employee. That means we are building another man's business. We are building another man's future. In other words, we are helping ourselves to build another man's life without asking ourselves, what we are building, will it take care of me? This place whereby if they don't find you valuable again at any point in time, it's just a letter from HR and life can practically go to zero. This is the season when people start moving close to 50. You know what will start happening in them? Their aspiration to become more from a career perspective is reducing. Many of them at age 50, they stop going to conference. Can you see that plateauing is starting? If you are not careful, whoever you land into their hand in the UK at this stage of your life can mar or make what you do out of this place. When you start hearing people saying, don't push more, don't do more, just take life easy, is racism, they don't like us, so we are not sure we can make anything out of life. They are telling you, spilling what they have used this period of their life to do. Now, the question for you is, what you are hearing, is it going to take you to where you want to become? Guys, don't forget, there is a reason why you came. There was a picture you had in mind when you relocated, you sold everything, moved your family, take the biggest risk you would ever take in your life, and you moved to the diaspora. We are saying, can we make it count? Can we make it count? So every one of us will start here, but is this the best that life can be to us? If I use my life to do all this, will it take care of this season of my life? I believe we are hearing this conversation, and please, this is very major. Everybody can do cruise online, but every time you are building something to determine what the rest of your life will be. You see why some of us cannot sit on our laurels. I will keep saying, guys, make the most of this season. Look at your mom. Maybe you don't understand. Look at your mom at age 60. Imagine her still running after day shift and night shift at age 60. Imagine what it looks like. Imagine what it looks like at age 60. You cannot even say that the rest of your life is going to be protected. Imagine. So you need to look at your mom and remind yourself that one day you'll be like the same age of your parents. What you are building now and what you are doing with this active season of your life, what will it make out of this place? You see why you can't keep complaining and holding every other person responsible for your outcome without talking to yourself. Why? Because one day this age will ask you questions. This age will talk to you and ask you, what were you doing when you were here and you could do extra, and you heard somebody on TikTok saying, make the most of this time? What were you doing? Because this age will speak to you. This age will tell you, ask you questions. It's not only your children that will ask you questions. This age will talk to you a lot. But unfortunately, you cannot return the hand of time. It is gone. You cannot reverse the hand of time. It is gone. But now you have it. And this is why I want us to have this conversation tonight. I'll be moving to the next screen and drawing the literal movement that is expected of any immigrant in the UK if you want to have a productive and a successful life. Guys, if you are joining me for the first time, it's not AI that is talking, it's real human being. My name is Jide Neye, your favorite financial educator here on TikTok. And I teach people in the diaspora, especially people of my color, how you can make sure you are positioning yourself for the kind of life why you said you came. The system will never give it to you. You yourself is the one that will work it out for yourself. So I am streaming once every quarter. I do what I'm doing now once every quarter, where I stream for 15 days back to back, talking about different topics. Today is our day 4. Is it day 4 or day 5, guys? I think it's it's day 5 already. It's day 5. So we've spoken about understanding the system, dealing with debt. We've spoken about understanding how to grow your credit. We've talked about budgeting yesterday. It's day 5. Thank you. We spoke about budgeting yesterday. Today we are talking about the journey, understanding the 4 quadrants. Tomorrow we have a section where we'll talk about career. We'll have another section where we'll talk about self-employment, stretching yourself into wealth zone. We have a section where we'll talk about insurance. We have another one talking about building the next generation. We have a section where we'll talk about networking, mentoring, and accountability. We have a section talking about business, investment, building asset against liability. So it's going to be a bumper section for the now to the end of the month. Guys, this is one of the answers to the question that you have been asking. Now, if this is prepared for you and you are not here, I'm not the one losing. You are the one losing out. So please follow me. This is another reason why I tell you to follow me, so that when I come online, TikTok will notify you. That's number 1. Number 2, share it to people that are around you. Share it to people who matter around you, so that we know that ignorance is never a strategy. We are a product of what you do. You cannot solve a problem at the level of knowledge with which it was created. So we need to have this conversation so that we can start thinking the way we ought to think, so that we have the life we want. Somebody asks, who am I? Who is this young man talking to me? Why do you think you are qualified to say what you are saying? Thank God you know I'm a young man. And I'm a very, very young man. Waiting, I even know, I'm not even sure. But I came into the UK like every one of us, and we came in 2022, and we've been in the UK for 3.5 years. So I've not been around for long. I mean, 3.5 years. So you call us the new takers, not the old takers. But there is something that I will say about myself, which I know if you are listening and you've been following for a while, you will discover that this is how life ought to be for us. So we came in 2021. I've worked 2022 rather. I've worked in Amazon. I've worked in Tesco warehouse. So I've worked in O2 Arena as a cleaner. In 2023, early 2023, I worked into the corporate space as a digital marketing manager. I've had digital marketing for 14 years experience. So I worked with one of the big logistics firm as a digital marketer in 2023. And by the grace of God, within 2 years, I've been able to resign, start up my own by myself. So I'm not depending on another 9 to 5 to take care of my life, number one. Number two, within this same period, God has helped us. We've moved into our mortgage process, and we are predicting and determining the kind of life we want for ourselves, despite the immigration issues and everything that is being mentioned. So why am I saying this? It's not because you have to be here for long before you have your life get together. That's number one. Number two, you can literally move from today. You can literally start developing the kind of life you want for yourself and make something meaningful out of life. And that is why I want us to know that please don't wait until you are 7 years in the country, 10 years in the country to discover that the vehicle you are jumping on is not taking you to where you want to be. And that's why we are having these conversations. All right, so please listen and listen. We listen here most especially, and we don't judge. Listen here and we don't judge. So let me continue. I'll turn to my board and talk about each of these quadrants that I've just drawn on my board. I will turn to my screen right now. Please, I will never reach out to you. Anybody who is reaching out to you in my name is a scammer. Please block them. It is not from me. I think I should even drop the message on my on my screen here so that people can see it. Because I All right, so that is it. I believe this would help anybody who is joining at any point in time. Please pay attention to that message. I will never reach out to you or chat you about any investment. Anybody who is doing it is a scam and it's not from me. Block them, please. I beg you. All right, so let's take each of the quadrants. As I spoke about the journey for every immigrant in the diaspora, what should you be doing? How can you start creating your own pathway so that you make the most of this active season of your life while you are building something for yourself? So you need to understand each of the seasons so that you can make the most. All right, so the first one is the employee. Literally every none of us that came into the UK will start from here. Literally everyone that ever land in any diaspora country, we will start from here. So there is nothing wrong with being an employee. But we have to understand that it's called a starting point, it's not a finishing point. Unfortunately, the system expects you to start from here and finish from here by retiring at 68. So literally, they're expecting you to use between 18 and 68 years of your life as employee working for another man. Now, what are the potential limitations and the challenge with if you are here? So many of you will understand and relate with what I will be saying right now. One of the major challenge to this place is your earning potential is limited. Your earning capacity is always limited. In other words, no matter how much hard you work, there is always a cap to what your salary will be like. I remember when I was working in my work before I resigned, the highest increment you can get in a year is 3% as a corporate worker. I'm not even talking about some care work or some people who have been working and the next 4 years you might never see any increment on your salary except if government increase the minimum wage with another 50p. So you can see that number one, you are capped on how much you can make. And you cannot just move up the ladder easily, frequently and easily like that. So this number one has limited something that is critical to your existence, your earning capacity, how much you are earning. That is number one. Number two, you have sold something that is major to you. One of the greatest resource you can ever have in life. You have sold it for money. It's called time. In other words, you cannot just wake up anytime and say, I want to go to work today, or I don't want to go to work today. You cannot afford to say so. They have created a rota system that either it is sunny, or it is rainy, or it is snowing, you have to show up at work. So in other words, you cannot make much except you put in time to it. Number one. Number two, how much you will make is determined by how many hours you put to it. And this is something about this country. Have you wondered why they pay you per hour? They don't just pay you everything lump sum per month. Because they determine how much you are qualified to earn based on how much time you are working. So in regards to time, it is not to your advantage. Why? Because it's somebody that is determining your time. By extension, I use the word the person is predicting, determining your future. Why? Because it's the one telling you when to come to work, how not to work, do it this time, don't do it this time. You cannot just wake up and say you don't want to do it, except you want to claim sick leave, and you cannot do that for the rest of your life. So being an employee, time is a major critical thing. Guys, I would rather give out money to save my time, because with time, I know what I can do. Time is something that every one of us have. Jeff Bezos have the same 24 hours like me. But what we do with our time is what determines a major thing about our wealth. So time is already taken from you. You don't have control. The third one is when there is layoff, where there is redundancy, there's every big tendency of people being affected. This year and last year, I've heard many people, for no justifiable reason in that sense, they've laid them off sometimes. All they need to do is HR will write a message and say, blah, blah, blah. Unfortunately, I will let you go. Boom. I have seen people this year, last year rather, whereby in the same place of work, the company had to downsize the department. And because they are downsizing the department, they have to lay off. I'm talking people in the corporate space, so I'm not talking people who are carer. They had to lay them off. So imagine somebody who was earning 50K every month, suddenly moving from 50K down to 0K per month, every year rather, down to 0K. Why? Because there is a downscaling. So you find out that this is why I'm saying, if salary is the only thing you are using your life to live on, do you know how much of danger you are? Why? They've reduced it to 0K. Nobody is thinking of the fact that this guy is on mortgage. He has to pay his mortgage. Council will still come to you, even though you are collecting 0K every month. Council will still come to you with their council bill. Energy will still expect you to pay. Nobody is considering the fact that you are now on zero because of the layoff. So you see that when there is layoff, or there's restructuring, or there's redundancy, people in this place tend to suffer more. Very important. Another critical thing about this place is when it has to do with tax. Guys, when it has to do with tax, these are the people who are suffering the most. Employees are the people who would always suffer the most when it comes to tax. And this tells you a lot about the system where we are. For instance, somebody who is earning £30,000, government will ask him to pay only 20% in tax, right? Immediately you grow up the ladder and you earn £60,000. Government is saying the reward of going up the ladder is paying more tax. So government is saying the moment you grow beyond £50,000, suddenly from 20,000, another big jump, 20% increase in some of the tax you'll be paying. Now let's sit down and do some quick equation. I like doing it. So imagine somebody who is earning 50K in the UK per year, right? 50K in the UK per year. You know that there is something we call the basic allowance, which is your tax waiver, what you don't pay tax on. So anything between 0 and 12,570. You pay 0% tax on it, right? So between this amount, 12,570 and 40K, and 50K rather, will be what you are going to be paying tax on. Let us calculate it and see it. Bring out my calculator. All right, so that's 50K minus 12,570, which is equal to what? 37,430. 37,000, is it 37? All right, 37,430. You'll be paying 20% tax on this, and you're paying 8% NI on it. So let's calculate what will your tax be like. 20% of this is how much? Times 20%. That means you'll be paying 7,486 as your tax. 7,486 as tax. While for your NI, you'll be paying, let me look at that number again. I need that number. That's 37,430 times 8%. Times, oh, sorry, I did something wrong. 37,430 times 8, 37,430 times 8%. So your NI will be 2,994. So in total, within a tax year of working hard and grinding yourself as an employee, you would have paid this plus 7,486, which is equal to 10,840. So you got a job and they told you your salary is 50K. Guys, there's a difference between salary and take home. You are on a salary scale of 50K, but at the end of the month, only 49,160 pounds. Did I say 49? Sorry. I don't dash you too plenty money. 39,000. Am I right, guys? Yes, I'm right. 39,160 pounds is coming to your hand. Somebody said not too bad. I agree with you. All right, so remember this figure. This is what you are going home with, right? And this is what you are paying in tax. Don't forget that figure. Let's experience a little increment in salary because you have been working very hard. Your salary was able to go to 80K per year, right? Beautiful. So the same equation, 12,570, right? Zero tax. Beautiful. The second one, like we did to the other one, what was the figure? 37,430. All right, 37,430. You'll be paying 20% tax, right? Good. Now, the last one, because you are earning 80, okay, that will be 30 minus blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that will be 30K because you've increased by only 30K. So anything from 50 upwards, you'll be paying 40% on it. So you've gotten an additional 30K increment in salary, and you are sharing testimony in church, which is good. Amen. Now, from a tax perspective, what suddenly will change? You start seeing where the picture start getting blurry and not funny again. From a tax perspective, remember that this guy at this place is paying this and this for tax and what do we call it now? For tax and NI, 10,000. Just because there's a 30% increase in my salary, I will pay 40% of this 30% increase as my new tax. How much is that? 30. times 40%. That means additional 12,000 will come out of my hand as tax. Then on that same amount also, additional NI that I will be paying on that times 8% is another 2,400 pounds, making a total of additional 14,400 pounds because of a 30%, of a 30k increment in salary. Now you start discovering, if you are thinking intelligibly, you have to start sitting down and asking yourself, the more I earn, the more tax I pay. When will I be able to see the reward of my labor? If the additional beyond 50k, 40% of it already is not in my hand. Somebody else is taking additional 40% away from me. Why? Because I am an employee working in 9 to 5. So can you see that it's not that it is bad? But like I say, it's not so much of how much you are making, it is how much you are keeping. If I am making 80k already, from my 80k, how much additional am I paying as tax from my 80k? So let's calculate it again. That's 14,400, right? Plus the 10,000. If you remember, 10,840. 10,840. 10k 840. That means out of my 80k, I'm paying 25 grand plus in tax. I'm not talking state pension, I'm not talking any other thing, right? Just in tax. Because I increased to 80k, the take home at the long run is now 55k. While if I am earning it now, let's do the math very well again. So if I'm earning 50k, my take home is 39. Beautiful. 50k take home is 39, right? 80k take home is 55. Guys, do you know the more this number is increasing, the less you are taking home? So at the long run, you are working hard, you are making money, but the only person who is rewarded the most is your tax system, HMRC. So it's not bad to start here, like I say. Why? Because here is every one of us who came into the UK will start here. But you have limited in how much you can earn. Your salary cannot just grow and jump over the roof overnight. It doesn't work like that. Number two, there's control over your life. Why? Because they are controlling your time. They determine when you are going to work. Even if you feel like sleeping, and your shift is 6 a.m., you no get choice. You must stand up no matter how tired you are feeling. Except you know if you carry your leg or you know if you move. Imagine somebody that is earning 60k and because of a layoff can literally move to 0k overnight. Can you see why I say if this is all you are doing with your life, especially this active season of your life, you are walking on an eggshell? It just takes one change in life circumstance and everything will go back to as though it's zero. And tax is the last one I've said. So like I said, every one of us can start from here. But what should be your plan? Your plan should be, yes, I'm in the UK. I've been here for 2 years. What is another thing that can help me have a better life beyond what I am seeing right now? That is where the second place comes in. I call it the SE. In the UK, we call it self-employed. Now, what happens in this place? Suddenly, it might not be as fantastic, but something will start coming to your reality. And something will start changing about your story. In this place called self-employed, some of us call it side hustle. It simply means this is a place whereby, okay, I can look for selling on TikTok. I can have product I'm selling. I can have digital thing I'm creating. I have something else I am doing outside my 9 to 5 that can increase my earning. What are the benefits this place start opening to you suddenly? Number one, your potential of earning. There is no cap. The cap that that employment has put on your potential of earning, suddenly the cap is removed. Number two, there is extra flexibility to life and time. Why? Now, because you know that you can earn more. If you are smarter, you want to use your time on anything that can help you to earn more money. So you find that when it comes to time and flexibility, I don't have to stand up and go for shifts before I can make money here. All I need to do is this simple thing. Look for a problem that you are solving. It is called value creation. What is the need that I am meeting? What is the problem I am solving? And you know the funniest thing, all of us are already solving a problem. If you are not solving a problem, nobody will employ you. But unfortunately, you are solving a problem under a closed system whereby you don't get compensated to the level of problem you are solving. Guys, if anybody is paying you £40,000, be rest assured that that year you are bringing in nothing less than £60,000 to £70,000. So in other words, the reason why they employ you is because of the value you are bringing in. That means the problem you are solving. The moment you stop solving the problem and they find you as somebody who is not performing, that is where you have things like redundancy and they start dropping you. But like I said, the problem you are solving here is putting a cap on how much you are earning. And you know the funniest thing is the same knowledge that you have. Nothing special yet, but it's just the same, just your earning potential has reduced. You see why I'm saying to you, you have to understand that money creation is driven by this factor, value. Money is driven by this factor called value, and it is disguised as what? Problems. In economics, we call it demand. The moment you can sit down and ask yourself, what is the problem I can solve that somebody will be willing to exchange money from, I will start to clap for you. Thank you, my dear sister. Thank you. Once you start sitting down and understand that I have a skill set that people are willing to pay for it, you will find out that there is no limit to how much. For me, last year alone, it is shocking that this place produced nothing less than £40,000 for me. This is the same person who 1.5 years ago was in overdraft debt of £2,800. And I was working as a digital marketing manager for a big logistics firm here in the UK. So you find out that the moment you start moving from here to this place, you are creating bigger options for your life. And you know what you are gaining? Guys, this is the critical one. It's called control. Control. Why? Because nobody can fire you from this. This one, they can dismiss you if they feel they don't need you again. This one, nobody can benchmark how much you will make here. You are the one determining what your life will be like. So this place, there's a limitation on you. So whatever I'm doing here, while I'm doing this one, I'm asking myself, what is the problem I can solve? Thank you so much, sis. What is the value I can create? Many of you walk to your city center. You walk on your street every day. You walk on TikTok every day. The only thing you are seeing is challenge. But you are not seeing that this is called problem. Every money opportunity is embedded in problems. They employed you because they had a problem. The problem is they had more care clients that they needed people to attend to. So we needed to create solution for that problem by employing you to come and solve it. Guys, the moment you start seeing money this way, a big shift will happen in your mind, and you discover that the limitation to your prosperity and your thank you so much. The limitation to your prosperity and your possibility is in the problem you are solving. So the more problem I can solve around me, the more I can increase my opportunity to earn. Guys, we need to start thinking differently. We need to understand this thing and start thinking differently. So you find out that, wow, I can do more. I don't need to go for another extra shift. I can sell that time into creating a value system. I don't call myself a content creator. I am a value creator. I am not a content creator. I am a value creator. Why? Because I am solving a problem. And you know what I like about our Creator? Everyone that He has created has the potential and the capacity to solve a problem. Remember, I told you how to use this season of your life, 18 to 60. You must be building and creating. Why? Because that will determine the legacy you are going to live on. So you see why I said it's good to start here, but don't sit down here. If you really want a better life in the UK or in diaspora, if you sit here for a long period of time, you will live to blame yourself in the future. So we can start here. We start looking at what is the problem. We start asking ourselves, what is the pain we are seeing around? And you know the funniest thing, I'm not going to take my time to teach it today because there's a section where I'll be handling that practically, is the fact that many of us came with years of experience from Nigeria. Some of you are good bakers back in Nigeria. Some of you make one of the best hair you sew when you were in Nigeria. But you've come here and suddenly you have settled for only warehouse and care job, which already has created a peg on what your possibility can be like. Well, I'm saying that, do you know the things that you have built before coming here? As an admin expert, as a marketing expert, back in Nigeria before coming to diaspora. Do you know that there's a version of it that there's a demand for here in the UK? And I'm saying the moment you don't pay attention and identify, guys, it's amazing on TikTok shopping place, or what do we call it now? TikTok marketplace. You can buy a boniki. You can buy a boniki on TikTok shop. You can buy suya. What we call, is it tinko now? That dry suya, you buy it on TikTok shopping cart. Yes, you must understand that the fact that there were many immigrants from where we came to this place, there is going to be a demand of what we used to offer there. Can you even serve all the immigrants that came in, Nigerians that came into UK? Can you serve them? You can't. So you have to start thinking differently, that if you want to make money, not the way the system expects you, and expand your wealth opportunities, you have to identify the problem that you are solving. And nobody was born empty. Nobody was born without anything in them. There's something in every one of us. So the moment you identify it, you have removed the cap on your earning potential. You remember I started the first day. I said this year, if all you can do is seeing how you can move from 100% salary to 10% another stream, I will clap for you this year. Why? Because you're already creating the power of options for yourself. So nobody needs to force you to go out at all costs before you can have your daily bread. Why? You understand the power of options. And guys, control. It's all about if you miss anything, this my live stream. It's all about control. Anybody who is controlling your earning and your possibility in life is already the one crafting the story of your life. Can you see that immigration is the least of our challenge? Having ILR will not make you more money suddenly. It will not. You can have the best ILR, give you British citizen. The highest you most likely will get is going to for benefit. But the moment you understand that the way money works is it responds to value. People don't pay you because you sell. People don't pay you because you have a product you are offering. People pay you because there is a problem you are solving. People pay you because there is a problem that you are creating solution to. People pay you because there's a demand that you are meeting that need. Guys, there's practically nothing in this world that cannot make you money, as long as there are people who are demanding for it. Today is not the day I will talk about self-employment or side hustle. So I'll take my time. One of these days we'll break it down. Guys, if you are not following me, the tendency of losing more money is high. So we need to have this conversation for the next. If you don't miss the first 4 days, please, from now till the end, don't miss any day. 6 p.m. daily, I'll be streaming back to back. I do it once every quarter. It's called my Smart Financial Move series, whereby I stream for 15 days stretch, covering different topics that can help us, even as immigrants in the diaspora, so that we can have the kind of life we came here to settle for. If you keep waiting for the system to give you that life, guy, you're on a long thing, because the system was never designed to give you that life. So that's why we are having this conversation now, to understand that there is something that you have to do to start moving from where you are to where you want to be. Now, I'll turn back to my board and continue the conversation. For everyone joining for the first time, you are welcome. You are welcome. Let me turn to my board and continue with our chat. So, like I said, this place start increasing your possibility, your earning potential, flexibility of life start coming here. But one thing that is a limitation to this place is the fact that from a tax perspective, you are still seen as an employee. From a tax perspective, you are still seen as an employee. For me, last year, my salary and my income from another stream was way above 80K. Suddenly, HMRC writes me letter. My tax bracket was changed, and it's critical what my number one, not only with my tax bracket that was changed affect me, my tax allowance was reduced. So what do I tell people when you enter into this place? Guys, once you start creating a value stream, it's not about the fact that you are just making more money. The question is, how much money are you keeping? So what will be my recommendation? My recommendation is, once you create a system whereby you can make more than the trading allowance. There's a trading allowance for this place. It's not only this place that has tax allowance. What we call the trading allowance here means if you don't make more than that amount within a tax year, you are not expected to pay tax in the UK. But the moment you cross that threshold within a tax year in the UK, you are expected to pay tax. So for instance, you are doing digital, or you are doing TikTok affiliate, or all those things. The moment you make more than that allowance, government will expect you to pay tax. And the tax at the trading allowance here is just £1,000 every year. That is the system that wants to help you make more money and keep more money. £1,000 every tax year. The moment you make more than £1,000 every tax year, you are expected to pay tax. So what do I usually recommend? While you are building this place and you are still working here, the moment this place starts producing £1,000 regularly, back to back on a monthly basis, your aim is to protect the money, not to pay more tax. You move it to the next stream, which I call the business owner. What exactly am I doing? I am doing what I am gifted to do. Sorry, that's an humorous answer. All right, so what do I do exactly? I don't know what you mean by that question. Maybe if you elaborate, I might give you an answer. What exactly am I doing? I am teaching right now. So that's what I'm doing. So you start moving in. Why? Because you are making more. So imagine somebody who is making 40K extra from here, and you are making 50K from here. As far as the tax man is concerned, the same tax bam of 40% that will land on somebody who was doing this alone, they will put the same thing on you. So you find out that you are making more, but you are spending more in tax. Guys, it's not so much about how much you make. It is how much you keep at the long run. So what makes this place better as a business owner? As a business owner, you experience majority of the same thing you experience here, but with a better leverage. Number one, there is no cap on how much you can make as a business owner. You can scale your business as much as you can, but this place, there's a limit on how much you can make, no matter how much you scale it. That's number one. Number two, when it comes to business, there is another benefit which I like about business. It is seen as an independent entity from you. So imagine, for instance, me in the UK, I have a digital marketing agency called 10x Creation. That's registered, is a registered business. But at the same time, I have a side also whereby I teach people about things online. So the moment I move my business from this place to this place, Jideneye is different from the business that is registered. So there are two different independent entities. For instance, there's something we call indemnity. No matter if something wrong happened here and somebody sue me here, or something evil happened to business and it affects anything financially, I will bear the entire brunt of it, even though I'm making more money. But in this place, because this is an independent entity, no matter what is happening, it can only affect the business mainly. It cannot come to me. Why? Because I am different from this. That is the first major thing. The second major thing, beyond the fact that there is no cap on it. The third major thing for me is number one, you have to understand. Remember, I told you the game. The game is about building something that will take care of you during this season of your life. So, in other words, this is another good place where you are building legacy. Legacy simply means that even if you are out of the picture technically, or you don't go to work technically, you are already creating a system that is independent, that can start building and growing wealth for you. So you find out that it becomes a better place for you to stay for a long period of time. Guys, everybody that employed you here at a point in time had to do this. Think about what I just said here. Anybody that employed you here at a period in their life, they had to do this. They had to do it. I remember when I was working as a digital marketing manager for my logistics firm, I look at how much we declared per annum, and I was asking myself, how much do you think the owner of the business will be paying as tax? You might be shocked that I'm paying more tax than the owner of the business. Which goes to the next thing. It is a tax efficient bracket. It's a tax efficient bracket. Remember why you are working to make more money, or you are doing things to make more money. It's not so that you can send more money to government or HMRC. It's so that you can keep more money. If your business is earning between 50K per month, per annum rather, max you will most likely pay in tax is 19%. 19%. Guys, did you hear what I just said? 19%. Why this guy, the minimum he will pay in tax is 20. The more he makes here, he pays more tax. He can move to as high as 45%. Your own is starting with 19%. Now, let me explain something to you. I call it the cash flow that you need to understand. The cash flow of an employee. This is the cash flow of an employee. Salary. Before the money gets to you, tax. The tax system is the only thing that has the right to touch your money even before it comes to you as a salary earner. Then your income. You see that your salary is not the same thing as your income. So your tax would have been removed first before the money gets to you. While as a business owner, this is their own cash flow system. Sales, cost of doing business, profits, then tax. Can you see the difference? Don't forget that the minimum tax this guy is paying here is 20%. This guy is paying 19%. That's number one. Number two, this guy would have paid tax before he thinks of paying house rent, buying car, paying for insurance. So it is what is left out of after they've removed this that this guy is using to take care of his cost of living. While this other guy, he makes sales, right? Beautiful. Before he gets to tax, it would have removed what we call cost of doing business. And if you have a good accountant, your cost of doing business, hope you know, for a business owner, salary is a cost of doing business. Yes, I mean the same salary that you are collecting, that they will chop tax. This guy, it will be factored under cost of doing business. Hope you know, as a business owner, insurance for the car, if he knows what he's doing, and the car purchase, if he knows what he's doing, is cost of doing business. So you see that this guy has the tendency of the opportunity of removing some major cost up front before he gets to tax. Why you? It is tax first before money comes to you. And still this guy is paying 19% and you are going to pay 20% minimum. So can you see why you have to understand that it is not so much of how much you make. So that means this guy can make 50K per year. And this guy also can make 50K per year, but this guy would have more money to keep than this guy at the end of the year. Why? Because if this guy knows what he's doing, hope you know on his salary, he can also pay no tax. How? Once his salary is no more than 12,570 per year, guys, this guy will not pay any tax on the salary. He can still have opportunity of getting dividend from this same business. If he has a good structure system, he can incur some of the costs that you would always incur, and you are using your income to pay. This guy can put it under cost. So this guy can make 50. If he knows and he can do what he's doing well, he can increase cost of running business to as high as 45k legitimately. That means at the end of the month, he has only 5k as profit. He's going to pay only 19% of 5k. Guys, if you don't know how people are doing life here in the UK, you'll just be working hard and it will look like the gods are not favoring you. Hope you understand what I have said to this point and it is clear. Guys, my work here is to show you that we can all start here as an employee. But if you want to have the life that you came to UK to look for, you cannot stop here while you are building something for when you retire 60 to 88 years of your life. Guys, do you know how much things you can do here to start with? So you can start here. What am I doing in value to move here? When I start seeing that the income is steady, what am I doing to protect it? Guys, whatever I'm teaching here is not a financial advice, it's for educational purpose. So in other words, I don't even know what I'm saying, but whoever is smart and intelligent can pick and get what I am saying. All right, the next one, which is the last one I'll be talking about tonight, is the I call it the investment sector. You know what I love? I love this place, especially if you're in the UK. This is one of your bread and butter for your future. This is one of the things that if you are not leveraging on it, no matter where you are for your future, you are not taking advantage of everything you have. But what is the advantage of this? This place is called passive. This is the truest of all passive income. You know, for this place, you have to go to work, you have to do something, you have to do something. This place is making your money work for you. You see why when I say that if you cannot put 10% of your monthly income aside in an investment system, I'm asking myself, what are you building as legacy for your future? Guys, I would have a day where we'll sit down and talk about investment. So all these things that we see here, we'll break it down one after the other and show us how can you leverage on each of them step by step. We're going to break it down. All right, so this investment, like I said, it is total passive income. Number one, you are getting dividend from your investment, or you are getting rental income. You handed the house to an agent to take care of it. You know, somebody is paying you for the rent, and you are making profit on it. Remember, I tell us in this country, in this UK, every one of us is on a mortgage, either directly or indirectly. It's either you are the one on the mortgage yourself, or the landlord has taken the mortgage on your behalf, now asks you to pay as rent with profit on it, but you are on a mortgage. So in other words, some of us have been on a mortgage every year, every month for the past 5 years. So imagine somebody who is paying house rent of 1.5 every month, 12 months every year, and has done it for 5 years of his life. He has paid 19,000 in mortgage, but it no dey count for in future. So this is where you start creating systems that passively make you money. And this is one of the secrets for growth. Why? Because for this one, you don't have to be there to work, and it is working on its own. That is beautiful. Like I mentioned, for the investment, for instance, we in the UK, there's an ISA system that gives us a leverage, an advantage. One of these days, I'll take my time to talk about it. This one, like I said, you have little or no time. You don't need to be there. It runs by itself. That's why it's called passive. Another thing about this, which I like it, is once you get the knowledge, boy, the cap has been removed. Once you get the knowledge on how to do this, you find how difficult or how easy it can be to create a system to your advantage. You see why I'm big on financial education. Guys, if you are joining me for the first time, so that you know go think say na robot, my name is Jidene, your favorite financial educator here on TikTok. And I do something once every quarter for 15 days back to back, from the 15th of the month to the end of the month, whereby I stream every day. Come in here. You are my namesake. Well done. Here talking to us, especially those of us in the diaspora, so that we can create a system of leverage. You know, I looked at the statistics yesterday or day before yesterday, and I saw that our indebtedness to asset ratio for we the blacks is the highest in the UK. There is no way we can have the upper hand that way. But the moment you start discovering and understanding that you have to create your path, nobody is here to save you. It is what you work out for yourself that will determine where you are. This year, if nothing is changing, please change this mind shift to understand that your employment is an opportunity, but it's not what will give you the kind of life you want for yourself. So from there, you are asking, what are the other things that I can generate for myself to give me the kind of life I came here to look for? So guys, my conversation this evening, which is all I've done. Okay, I need to mention one more thing before we close, because tonight I'm just to spoil you up so that you'll be ready for the next set of streaming that we'll be doing from tomorrow. Let me turn my screen. Now, remember I gave you the cash flow for employee, right? The cash flow for employee is the fact that the guy salary, before the money gets into his hand, tax will go down, remove in own. Then after the tax, whatever is left is what he takes home and show that this is what I have worked for the past 31 days, right? Now, for the business owner, I've told you sales first, cost of running business, where if he has a very smart and intelligent accountant, you can practically pay zero tax in a tax year. For me, last year now, I'll be paying zero tax. Let me keep my mouth shut. Then after that, from your cost of business, you move to profit. Then from profit is what you pay tax on. And the minimum tax this guy can start with is 19%. While you as an employee, you are starting with 20% and can go as high as 45% if you are earning more. All right, so for an investor, what is the cash flow system? For an investor, guys, and this is for somebody who is using the ISA system here in the UK. For an investor, number one, you put your investment, right? You get ROI, right? If you are using the tax system, the ISA system here in the UK, do you know what will be your tax? 0% in the end of the year. So guys, we need to start asking ourselves, yes, I started here and we are grateful to God. But how can we move from here while we are still doing this one to create this one? And I told you the name this one will be called is value, disguised as problem, and people exchange it for money. The moment you understand this equation and you position yourself here, one thing you are doing is you are removing the cap on how much can come to your hand. Very important. But because of tax, you cannot stay here. Why? Because the longer you stay here, as far as HMRC is concerned, they are seeing you here and this place as the same person from a tax perspective. And I said, even though there's no cap on what you are earning and you are earning more, but unfortunately, you will be paying more tax. Why? Because your income is not protected. So I said, the moment you pass that trading allowance, which is £1,000 per year, a tax year in the UK, once you can cross it gracefully in a month, think of protecting that money. Move to the next spot, which is business owner. And I explained for you that as far as business owner is concerned, is a different and a separate entity from a side employed or a side hustle or a self-employed person. And you know another benefit here, from a tax perspective, this guy is paying 19% tax. Why combining these two together, they can pay as high as 45% tax, depending on how much you are making from this place. This guy is cap. This guy no get cap. But from a tax perspective, it is a very dangerous place to stay. All right, so once you create a value chain that you are solving, you see what you should be using your money that you are making here to do is not to swallow it, is to ask yourself, how can I create this? And how can I create this next one, which is investors? Being an investor. I believe you have seen clearly the picture that we are expecting to do if we want to have a productive life in the UK. So, your equation, remember the diagram that I drew at the beginning. 0 to 18 years of your life, you are a dependent. So you depend on your parents, you depend on people to take care of you. But from 18, me, I like calling it 60. I don't like calling it 68. I don't want to work until I die now. 68. Even that 60 for me is too much, but let's keep it at 68. 0 to 60 is the active season of your life. This is the season where you should be creating and building, not looking for somebody to rescue you and giving you handouts as an employee, all in the name of salary. Why? This is the most productive season of your life. This is the season whereby you can stretch yourself and say, I want to do 20 hours extra or something that will take care of this next phase of my life, which was 60. Let's assume you live till you are 68. Another dependency period whereby you cannot afford to stand up and say you want to just work anyhow. You want to just do anything anyhow. In fact, your workplace is not seeing you as the most viable person again. The older you are becoming. Why? There's a young boy coming from behind you that can do what you are doing more efficiently and faster. The more I don't know if you've experienced it. For instance, I employ people also in my business. I discovered and this is no shade, I'm a married man. I find it easy to employ a single person than a married person. Why? This guy has freedom, in leg free where the older you become, the more you start building family, and that's why you have to build and create early, so that when you get old, you have what we call legacy. Legacy is what will start taking care of you this season, whereby you don't have energy to work again. You are not just depending on what this place gave you, which is just pension. All right? You are building something for yourself. You are choosing that I want to enjoy my life, not when I grow old, that's when I want to enjoy my life. You are building for yourself. You see why you cannot sit this place all your life and expect you to have the kind of life you came here to settle for in the UK or in the diaspora. So, guys, this year, what is your assignment? Your assignment this year is to pray. I don't know who you pray to, but sit down also to have a critical thinking and allow God to lead you, to let you know what is the value, what is the problem I can solve that people will be willing to pay for. Because the moment you don't think that way, guy, it's a long journey. So if I tell you that somebody like me is able within 3.5 years, not just to come into the UK, but able to resign from my job and also buy our mortgage, and I'm also building a life in just 3.5 years, it is not salary. If there's somebody that will never lie for you, I am one of them. It is not salary. We're talking about you are able to buy a house within 4 months. You just put money together within 4 months. It's not salary. And you know what is painful? It's painful. Why? Because many of us have this capacity. We have this potential, but we have chosen to go the way the system has designed. Go to work, come back, pay your tax, go to work, come back, pay your tax. If your money is not able to take care of you, stay on overdraft. Last year, all through last year, I had no reason, not one day, to use credit card or overdraft. And I'm telling you the truth. Why? Because if you don't understand how wealth is created, You would think it is hard work. Guys, it's more than hard work. But hard work in the right direction is called smart work. So if all you can do this year is sit down, continue with me. I will share something about side income and how to identify. I will share something very critical, not the way many people have taught you, something different. What they will tell you is look for a product to sell. Before you look for a product, I'm talking about something that is viable for a long period of time. Remember, your aim is to build it to become a business. So there's a way you ought to do it before you even move to a product to sell. We'll have a time we'll talk about it in the next, how many days left now? 10 days that we have left. So guys, if you are not following me, there's every tendency you'll never see me again. This might be one of the answer to the prayer you are praying for. So I've been able to sit down and help you to see that beyond running around for immigration and running around for ILR and the likes, you have to understand that ILR will not put more money in your pocket. The only ILR can give you is the fact that you are not tied to one employer. But guy, it will most likely not change your financial situation until you understand that it is the economy, it is the problem you are solving, it is the value you are creating that can command return, that actually start giving you the life you are looking for. I believe with these few points of mine for the past 1 hour, 30 minutes, I've been able to convince and not to confuse you that it is doable, it is possible. But you cannot do it the way the system expects you to do it and get the kind of life you are here to look for. And don't forget, thank you so much. Don't forget that winter is coming. Winter is coming whereby you don't have energy to work again. Now you can still do two shifts, extra 20-hour shift. You can do two jobs. There will be a season in your life that they will beg you with 10 hours. You go say you know if you do it. I'm also praying to God and I'm praying that this season of your life, you won't have any reason whereby they fire you from your work. Neither would you have any reason whereby for health reasons you cannot work again. Guys, you would understand that this season you have not used it very well. If all you are doing is just sitting on something that is an eggshell called employment. So we need to sit down and start asking ourselves critical questions. Some of you that they do NSPPD, now this kind of prayer point is supposed to do use your number 1, number 2, number 3 on NSPPD. God, open my eyes to the value I need to create that people are willing to exchange money for. Open my eyes. Let me see the problem I am born to solve that people are willing to exchange money for. If you look at the richest men on Forbes, top 5 or top 6 of them, you will see something that is critical about all of them. They have a product they are selling. They have a service they are offering. Is it not amazing that the richest man, who is Elon Musk, more than $500 billion worth, till today, the guy still they sell. The richest man in Africa, the richest black man, Aliko Dangote, is worth more than $32 billion in worth. Till today, the guy still they sell. Guys, you must understand the vehicle on which money runs. It's called value. The problem you are solving. Many of you are walking your street. Oh, I love the Arabs. I love those guys a lot. Those guys, they understand where the economic might is, and they've sat there. And that's why you cannot shake them anyhow. You cannot push them out anyhow. Look at London. The average, I was looking at the stat and they said, do you know that foreigners, especially the Arab guys, have more property in London than an average white Brit? Look at your store, African store, who they sell to you. You be African, now Arab they sell to you. There was a day a friend of mine said something that he was in his city center and he saw a guy, he was just there waiting and somebody came to him, and the guy looked and he said, the guy just asked him one question. He said, please, I just want to ask, what is the traffic like here and how is business looking here, kind of a thing. The guy answered, yeah, it's a city center, it's very viable, blah, 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 blah. So the black guy was forced to ask the question, please, why are you asking? He said, actually, 2 of my friends and myself, 3 of us, we just bought the post office. We said I just came to look and see how it is. You know what? They might not even have MSc. They might not have BSc. 3 of them came together to buy post office. Do you know what that means? Guys, we must understand where the real power is. The real power is not running out every morning and somebody puts chain in your hand in the name of salary, saying you have to run there, run there, run here, run there. It's not bad to start, but you must understand that the life you came here to look for, it will be long before you can enter into it if that's the only thing you are doing. Let me say it again. I believe with these few points of mine, I've been able to provoke you and let you understand that life can be better. Number one. Number two is not everybody in the UK that is suffering. Number three, you don't have to be here for a long period of time before you can get the kind of life you came here to do. Somebody said something, said you cannot solve a problem at the level of knowledge that it was created. Number one. Number two, Zig Ziglar said you cannot be doing the same thing the same way every time and expect a different result. In other words, for you to move into where you want to enter, you have to ask yourself, what am I doing differently? What am I creating? What am I solving? What problem am I putting out? And please don't let anybody slap you and say, if you know it. Why are you collecting money to teach people? That's the mindset of, I don't like calling this word, let me keep my mouth shut. That's the mindset of someone that will not go far. It's like telling Elon Musk, you're already rich by 500 billion. Why can't you sell your Tesla car for only £1? If I'm doing charity, there's a place for charity. But if it comes to wealth creation with the aim of building legacy, you exchange value for money. You exchange value for money. Can you go and meet a lawyer and say, lawyer, now, if you know this thing now, please, why are you charging for it? Is it because your own office is not a Canary Wolf? Don't let anybody despise your beginning. Don't let anybody despise your hustle. Don't let anybody despise your business. And know you are building it for yourself. No matter what they say, now like you stand in the picture, now like so you go see yourself when you grow old. So stand up, get up from all the laxity. Yes, I know there's challenges around you, but the way out is not to wait until everything is stable. Do you know what it means to bury 5 years of your life because you are waiting for ILR? The funniest thing is that 5 years is not even starting again. It might be 10 years. Do you know what 10 years of your life is? Just burying it because you are waiting for ILR. Guys, I'm saying this is your most active season of your life. Use it. Build something. Build something that nobody can fire you from, nobody can relieve you on, and you can take care of you and your future. Guys, tomorrow we'll be having a conversation. Let's see, even this employment, how can we do it better? How can we leverage on it better? At least, and I must be sincere with you, and this is no shade. The more you can keep from your employment point of view, the more you can create a system of leverage for the next level, which is self-employment, right? The more. For instance, I remember when I started my 9 to 5 as a corporate space, I entered as an executive, and I was earning around £27,000 per year as a digital marketing executive. Then, and there's a way I did it, and I positioned myself that in the space of 5 months, I was not just promoted, but my salary was increased by £15,000. It's not normal. So that's why I have issue with people who don't understand their first 3 months in their workplace. What does it mean to you? How do you position yourself to become a value person in where you are working? So that at least if you don't want to increase by salary 3% alone, what are the things that you can position yourself that you become somebody that they will not dispense? I don't want to spill more. But one of the major things you have to start paying attention to is understanding that the trajectory between technology and your industry. Go and develop yourself in that space. The trajectory where there's that nexus connecting technology and your industry. Guys, go and sit in that place. I used to think it would take a longer time because of technology, but now with the advent of AI, it's getting shorter. I'm looking at the level of work that will become dispensable within the next 1 year. So, guys, we really need to sit down and ask ourselves, while we're still doing this employment, how can we do it better? How can we position ourselves, leverage on it, maximize and capitalize on it quickly? and switch to where we ought to start building our own life for ourselves. For instance, as a digital marketer, do you know I can build AI agents that can literally do all my work, from email marketing to copywriting to ads running to website design? I can literally create an AI. That is the work of 4 people that one AI will take away from the market space. Guys, it's coming. It's not far again. It's coming closer. So we'll have that conversation tomorrow. What are the employers looking for? If I'm in a recruitment process, what are the things I need to do to get the job? For instance, the job I got, it was shocking to discover it was 1,400 plus people that employed for it, that applied for it. And I was the only one that was giving. And I never had a UK experience when I came in. How did I position myself? So there are many things that if you don't discover how it is done, you go say it's hard or it's not possible. So let's have that conversation tomorrow. I'll be having one of my good sisters talking that will be joining me here tomorrow. Her name is Omo. She's practically into that space. Me, I know the employee, employer, or the employee thing again. Don't come off for my head right now. So she'll be joining us tomorrow. You have been looking for how to get into civil service and all those stuff. How can you position yourself? I will bring my own experience, but I will hand you over to her by the time I am done with my own experience, because you need somebody to take your hand and hold you further. So, guys, don't miss the next 10 days. If you are going to miss anything, don't miss the next 10 days for any reason. After we'll have another section whereby we'll be talking about stretching yourself to wealth zones, which is the self-employment. So, we'll pick all these quadrants one after the other. Then we also have other topics that you need to make sure your life is all together and is making the most. Guys, it will be an answer to prayer. My prayer for you is whatever you are hearing now, you can translate it into something you can apply, and be audacious enough to stand, to tell yourself the truth that nobody will come here to save you. And it is whatever you do now will determine what your tomorrow and your next tomorrow will be. Thank you so much for listening tonight. Have a lovely night rest. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So we're going to meet again tomorrow, 6 p.m. It's going to be 6 p.m. every day. 6 p.m. tomorrow. We'll be having another section where we'll be talking about career, basically, and all we'll be saying tomorrow is career, career, career. How do you develop yourself? How do you grow yourself where you are? How do you enter from, even if you enter as a warehouse, whatever. I was almost saying warehouse analyst. Even if you came to the UK and the first job you ever saw is warehouse, how can you move? I'll share my story also tomorrow for those who have not heard. Have a beautiful night rest. Please follow me. And one thing I've done also, can you please approve to have access to the budget? Oh, I don't need to approve. Let me help you. Yeah, I know you're talking about the budget I shared yesterday. You don't need me to approve. What you need to do is just go to file. When you click and you open, go to file. Under file, look for make a copy or download. When you see download, click on it. It will actually, if you want to download it as an Excel file, that is the only way you can have access to an editable one. So you don't need me to approve anything. Is that clear? All right, guys. Have a lovely night rest. We can all rise together. Nobody's saying it's going to come easy. We can all rise. Working 9 to 5, burying all your life in employment and not able to have 20% saved is hard. Doing this thing I'm saying also is demanding. But which one will you choose? You have to choose your own ad. You have to choose depending on where you want to be in future. So guys, we'll continue tomorrow. Have a beautiful night rest. Please invite your fellow friends tomorrow. Somebody might ask, okay, Jide, I miss all these first few sections where you get to. How can I access it? All right, so let me show you how you can have access to it. What I've done is I am compiling and uploading them into what do we call it now? Uploading them into YouTube so that I can have access to it. So all you need to do is just go to my page, click on the link here. I like opening it on a new tab. Once it opens on a new tab, it goes to my website. Guys, anything you are looking for from me, if you cannot see it here, it's never existed. I'll never come to your WhatsApp or your message to message. You see the second one, you click on it. Once you click on it, it takes you to where the videos are. All right, so we have the 3 days that, or the 3 days I have done. Is it 3 or 4 now? I'm not even sure. Okay, 4 days. 1, 2, 3, 4. They are there already. So you can take your time to go back and watch it again and again. I think it is good, right? Should I continue uploading or should I stop? I think it's something good so that people can have opportunity to go back and listen to it. You know, is it good or should I stop it, guys? Because I'm not making any shishi from it. If people are not watching it, if the views are reducing or is not growing, so please, guys, the best you can do for me to encourage me, by tonight, let's get this thing to 50 followers or 50 subscribers. If it's not 50 subscribers, I'll stop wasting my internet and uploading tomorrow. So, guys, if it's not 50 subscribers tomorrow, I'll stop wasting my internet and I'll stop uploading it tomorrow. All right, so let's just do that. That's what we are using, because you need to encourage me also by doing it. So you see everything, understanding the system in the diaspora, understanding and dealing with debt. We talk about how to grow your credit score in the diaspora, budgeting and creating the right financial system. Everything is there. So, guys, that's for you that want to have access to it. Let's have a beautiful night rest. I will see you tomorrow. God bless you. I love you. Bye bye. Anybody that came late, sorry, we are done already. We not finish. So we start by 6 p.m. 6 p.m. Not 7, not 8. Have a lovely night rest. Bye bye.